Happy Wednesday, everybody. I'm Nick Bonner from TreeStuff.com. I'm joined by Cale Royer and Mike Dirksen today as our guest. Cale, we've got an exciting day today. Mike, thanks for joining. How are you?
Absolutely, doing great. Thanks, Nick. Thanks for having me. Thank you, Cale.
Yeah, we're going to jump right into it. But first, Cale, why don't you walk us through our agenda, please?
So we are going to chat with Mike Dirksen. He is a longtime arborist, been at the forefront of just the actual arborist industry over the last couple decades, and all the new technology and training and everything like that. Then we're going to talk a little bit about Arborfest, which is upcoming. Then we have notch hookups that we're going to talk about a little bit more. We're going to give some of those away. We are going to talk a little bit more about Top and Drop, which we kind of did a soft launch on last time. We're really excited about Top and Drop, and I think you guys should be too. There's a little bit of new gear, and then at the end, we are going to give away some money, some TreeStuff cash to some people through our TreeStuff.com/win program that we have. So first of all, Mike, thank you for joining us. Second of all, I want to take a second for me here. I have so somebody at an expo gave me black dog stump grinding and forestry mulching that I've been wearing forever because I've got the loveliest black lab here, and I need more hats. I need more awesome hats. So please,
I also need some hats.
Yes, send us an email live@treestuff.com. We want your stuff to wear, and we'll wear it. I'll wear it while I'm taking the kids to school, and we'll wear it on this, and we'll wear it on meetings and stuff like that. So please, live@treestuff.com. Please send us stuff. We want things. Mike, please, I hear you have a billion different certifications and all sorts of different things that you've done with ITCCs. You have you were the something in the city of Springfield, and like what's going on here? What have you done in your life? Give me a little history, please.
Yeah, just kind of a quick overview. I started working for the city of Springfield, Illinois, back in 1979. We had a 100-year ice storm go through the city in 1978. And they said, hey, we need help on the forestry crew. Can you go over there and help clean up? I said, that's fine. I don't know anything about trees, but I think I would love to learn that. And I got on there, and it's like, an 18-year-old kid. I was 18 in 1979. And it's like, man, I think I can do this as a career. I think this really works for me. It kind of speaks to me. I'm out in nature, enjoying the environment, working powerful tools and going up trees. It's like, yeah, this is exciting. I think I can make it work. And then 1988, the city wanted to become a Tree City USA. They wanted to have someone oversee their urban forestry program. I said, yep, I think I can do that. So 1988, I became the city arborist for Springfield, Illinois. And then I continued that position on until 2015. I had 36 years in, I retired. And now I just go around helping other companies. I do, climbing for other companies, even crane removals for other companies, whatever they need as a climber, someone who can do technical rigging and crane removals. I'm jumping in and I'm going for it now. So yeah, that's kind of my story in a nutshell.
I love that it started with that ice storm. I find so many arborists, their career starts with this like inflection point that is oftentimes like some type of crisis response or that like a major disaster. I mean, and I can think like in my career, right? Like so a lot of people's stories start with the mortgage crisis of 2008. I lost my job during the mortgage crisis, so I went and did this. I worked for a guy who started a tree service. He had no idea what he was doing. God bless his heart. Yeah. But he lost his job in the mortgage crisis and his son knew how to climb. So they started a tree service together. COVID, right? COVID, a ton of people responded to that. Then there's natural disasters like Hurricane Sandy, the ice storm that you just described,
Right.
the hurricane in Asheville that just happened. And then there's like tree related things like where EAB, like emerald ash borer or something. But
Right.
so often it seems young men, young women, right? There's something bad happens, and tree work is a way to solve that crisis or to make it better, and they never leave. So it's like it sounds like you got in, and you never left.
That's right. I want to share a little quick backstory to that though. So when I first started on the city, my very first job was in the sewer crew. And they would send me down in the sewers and I would run out of the sewers dry heaving. And I said, I can't do this. They said, why don't you go over in the forestry crew? It's like, okay, I don't know anything about trees, but I'll go learn about trees. That's better than being in a sewer.
The
So
complete
that's kind
opposite.
of the backstory to that.
I was working on towers and I hated it, and I still wanted to climb. So it's a similar thing, right? I wanted to get out of the environment that I was in, and there was another one that seemed better. Man, it seems like the trees are way better than sewers.
That's right. Oh, absolutely.
I feel like that guy made the wrong decision and you made the right one. So when you were working for the city as a city arborist, what does that mean? Are you out there doing tree work every day? Are you doing paperwork? Are you doing tree inventories?
Yes. Nick,
Yes to all of it.
all of it. I mean, I'll do, technically, yes, when I was on the forestry crew, I was doing, I was like the foreman. So I would oversee all the crews and the tree work that was being done. And then once I moved to the city arborist position in '88, yes, more of it was in the office, doing the administrative work, setting up programs, applying for grants, urban forestry assistant grants to plant trees. We even got urban forestry assistance grants to provide training. And so we would bring trainers in and train our crews as well. You don't see those grants anymore. They kind of went by the wayside, but man, I tell you what, they helped me plant thousands of trees and train a lot of people. So not only would we train our crews, we would invite other companies in and other arborists in if they wanted training as well. So that kind of opened up a lot of training in our area for the tree workers. So yeah.
So
that's really interesting. Go ahead, Cale. Sorry.
I'm kind of interested in your knowledge, the division of knowledge that you have between being an expert in trees and being an expert in being able to deal with municipalities and what people need in that way, and how you're writing for these grants and things like that. How did you learn about this other side? Because I think we all kind of, when you get started in the tree industry, you start learning about trees and
rigging,
you keep
climbing,
going up there. How did you get into the other side of that?
It was just that, my background, I basically graduated from high school at 18. I really didn't know what I was going to do with my life at that point. I was very fortunate to be able to get on with the city at that time. And then I think it was just like baptism by fire, Cale. It's just like, hey, we got this position. Do you want it? It's like, yes, I do want it. And I will learn everything I can to make this position successful. And so I would so they put me in the arborist position, 1988. And urban forestry, Chicago basically was the hub of urban forestry at that time. A lot of urban forestry programs going up in Chicago. So it's like so from being in the Illinois Arborists Association for quite a few years, I just started contacting city arborists up in that area, city foresters, and I learned what they were doing and how they were putting their programs together. It's like, yes, that's exactly what I want. That's what I need for our city. And I know we can put these programs together for our city and make them work and really have a successful urban forestry program for the city of Springfield. So basically it's like, hey, throw me in, see what I can do, and we'll see how it all shakes out. That's kind of how I operate. Yeah.
We talked to a lot of tree workers that, are they don't necessarily know what the next step is for them, right? They know that maybe they don't want to be doing tree care or tree work, their whole life, right? That at some point the physical nature of it will catch up with them. And there's, I think, a lot of aspirations to get to some of what are more limited roles in the industry that are less labor intensive. And the biggest hurdle or the biggest differentiator that people that are in those roles have, for me, that I recognize, are like the technological and office-based hard skills, right? Like, can you use a computer? Can you use Excel, right? Like, are you able to write a business communication or an email that, doesn't look insane, and I think for people that are, listening to this, wondering, how can they transition into these roles? How can you get a job as a city arborist? Being able to nail those hard skills and have them, I think, one, will help you get the opportunity if it's ever in front of you, but it'll help you be selected, right? People will recognize that you're the person that has those skills and will look to elevate you. Mike, you mentioned working with the Illinois Arborist Association.
Yes.
Cale also mentioned that you have done a lot of work with ITCC, the International Tree Climbing Competition. We talk a lot about regional comps on our show here. We really try to encourage people to attend and participate in those.
Right.
Can you tell us a little bit about your experience with the IAAA and how how did that become, being involved in nearly 20 ITCCs, and being a helping hand there? How did you do all that?
Yeah, that's really good, Nick. So I started attending the local, well, at that time in the 1980s, they were called the tree climbing jamborees.
Jamboree.
They were known as the tree climbing jamborees at that time. And then, and so I think 1985 was probably my first jamboree that I attended. And then, and just kind of built from there. And it's like, wow, this is really cool, and I remember probably one of the first ITCs that I went to. Well, I actually would have been the ISA Tree Climbing Jamboree. I think, probably around 1989. And I still remember watching all these climbers come from all over, the United States at that time, because at that time, Europe and other countries weren't really involved with the ISA's tree climbing jamborees. It was just the U.S. And then I think it finally opened up in 1996, where it actually went international. And I went to the very first international tree climbing competition out of the U.S. when it was in Birmingham, England. So that's one of my first truly international ITCCs that I went to. But just watching how it progressed through the years, I mean, it was really cool watching the progression. I remember my first tree climbing jamboree I went to. I remember watching aerial rescue, and this is bizarre how we think about it today. But the competitor, literally foot locked the tail of the dummy, flipped himself over up on top of the dummy, and brought them both down on the taut line hitch. I said, wow, that's really cool. But, I didn't think at the time how dangerous it was, because he wasn't secured with anything. He was just climbing the dummy's rope and then brought him down. So
I actually really like that method. And that can actually be done with a rope runner, believe it or not. You can put a rope runner on the tail of a rope and foot lock underneath it. You can 100%. And you can use the rope runner. Yeah. Listen, hey, I thought it was really cool that you mentioned the jamboree. Check this out. This is the first rule book that we ever made for our competition that we called Jambo. We took the name Jamboree and the format of the ISA rule book, including like the whole size and shape of it and everything, and made our own rule book for Jambo. It was super fun, but we called it the Jamboree as well. When you got to ITCC, you were involved in that for nearly 20 years or longer. Can you tell us what were some of the biggest changes that you saw from the beginning to the end of your main involvement in ITCC?
I still remember when Bettis came on, Vernon Strasser came on. Bettis had more impact on the ITCCs than I think that anyone else has. He has won more ITCCs than anyone else. And then when I first saw him come over to the U.S., I still remember him using this I Prusik thing, this cord that had two eyes on each end, and how he was tying it around his rope. And the judges were just like, whoa, wait, time out. Wait a minute. What is this? And then the very first time I saw the VT, the Vadaten Tress, being tied on a rope, it's like, wow, let's see what this guy can do with this. And, so that was a really cool transition from the Blakes, because everybody was using the Blake's hitch with the micro pulley, with the Fairlead micro pulley underneath of it. And then Bettis comes on, and now he's using this really cool technique with the I Prusik that no one had ever seen before, And I think a couple years later he came in and he did the loop. Have you ever seen the loop technique? It's kind of a floating hitch, how you can float it back and then bring it back to his harness, and that was really cool. And then I think
that's called the O-rig.
The O-rig, yeah. And then another one was when I first started seeing ascenders kind of brought into the tree climbing competition. So no one had quite figured out how to use SRS or SRT yet. I know there. Do you remember the F8?
The F8 revolver.
F8 revolver. You put the F8 out on the end of the line, and I remember that
the precursor to the rope wrench. Hold on, I got to dig into this a little. So what they did is they took a figure 8.
Yeah.
Which then they used the Kong one that was like really long.
That's right.
And they brought the rope through the figure 8.
Yeah.
And then clipped a DMM revolver onto that bite of rope, right? So you can imagine the bite of rope is through the revolver here. And that created the bend in the rope that the rope runner created. And you had this soft tether on the Fate revolving system. And essentially you would like push it up with your hand and it would descend. But then when you wanted to ascend, you had to take it off.
That's right.
But then you couldn't install it on the rope unless the rope was unweighted. So you had to like go on your lanyard. But that's what gave Kevin the idea. We have to have Kevin on the show, Cale.
So
that's what gave Kevin
if only we had his email address.
Yeah.
Kevin Bingham.
So, and kind of lead into that. So like in 2001, I was in Milwaukee. Do you know a gentleman, his name was Tom Dunlap Tree Care. There's a Jim Dunlap, Tom Dunlap. And he and I were just sitting around and talking about, we know it's going to go in this direction. No one really has quite figured it out yet, but we know that's exactly where it's going. It's going to be, SRT. Well, we call it SRS now. And then all of a sudden, Kevin Bingham shows up, and he's got this wooden spoon thing on the end of his rope, and that was kind of the first version of the rope wrench. And I know kind of from the backstory that he was down working I think it was a hurricane or tornado work, and I think he was being paid per branch, getting it out of the tree, and he had to climb up there and figure out a way how to climb up in the tree and come down as quick as he could so he could get to the next tree. And so he evolved this wooden stick thing into an actual wrench. And then eventually, the new versions of the rope wrench that we've seen. So
I know Kevin really well. And I just want to say for the record, there is no way that he saved any time in Texas with all his, whatever time he saved, he spent tinkering. Kevin has the tinker twitch, right? Where he's like will literally be in a job, at a job in a tree, and will rappel out of the tree and go home and start working on his device and just leave his employees there without even saying anything. So he definitely didn't save any time, but he did revolutionize tree care. So props to him. And I think he made a little money along the way.
I have.
Go ahead, Cale.
I just got a missed call on our live stream call. So if you were the one that called in, go ahead and try again on that, and we'll see if we can get you here.
Maybe it was Kevin. Mike, we met you because you actually called into our show when we had Christian Michael Schultz on. Christian is a longtime friend of TreeStuff and friend of mine and Cale's. Can you tell us a little bit, remind us, how do you know Christian and what was your guys' involvement together?
Oh my gosh, I met Christian probably I want to say late 1990s or early 2000 in Indiana. And at that time, I was doing like equipment demonstrations for Cheryl Tree. So Cheryl Tree and Vermeer had just made their alliance, like in 2001. Their
Mm-hmm.
equipment alliance, where all the where Cheryl Tree equipment was going to be sold in Vermeer stores. And like, so these Vermeer stores is like, well, yeah, this is great, but our none of our employees know anything about this equipment. Can you bring some people in that know this equipment and can show our employees how to use it? It's like, yeah, sure. And then it just kind of expanded from there to actually having seminars, day long seminars. And I still remember meeting Christian because I remember this guy with like super high energy and super excited to see how the industry is evolving and changing. And oh my gosh, Christian is just like, he's this ball full of energy that just explodes air. And I love the guy. And so that's kind of my first introduction to Christian. And then he and I actually worked together out in California during the wildfires, like in 20. I was out there in the wildfires during 2015, 16, and 17. And
Yeah.
Christian was kind of a trainer. He was a site safety supervisor. And then Christian and I kind of would hook up every now and then, and kind of share stories in that. And so, and in that aspect there. But I seen Christian. Oh my gosh, if you ever see Christian at an ITCC, he's usually the guy in charge of the footlock or I guess it's the ascent event now, but he's the guy in charge of the ascent event. And man, he gets everybody just fired up. Everybody surrounds his area over there because Christian is just one amazing guy, just one amazing arborist. And honored to know him, honored to know Christian.
Us too. Christian helped us establish what is today the claw game, the TreeStuff claw game, which is by far one of our most famous activations or games that we've ever done. And we'll be doing it. We're still doing it. We'll be doing it at the at Arborfest, which we're going to talk about here in a little bit. But big thanks and shout out to Christian Michael Schultz. Many of our audience and people have been touched by him. He's a regional safety trainer for Right Tree now. And travels around the country trying to keep people safe and make their lives better.
Right.
We are starting to come up on time for you, Mike. So I did want to be respectful of all of that. You mentioned in the pre-show that Miguel from Puerto Rico. We actually, after Hurricane Irene, was that the name of that one? Irene?
Oh, I don't remember.
No, it was Maria.
Maria. After Maria went down there and wrecked Puerto Rico. This is, so growing up, my dad had a house on the island of Vieques until I was like 5 or 7 years old. And I have a few core memories of being there as a young child. And I'd gone back as an adult. I actually took my wife to the island of Vieques, which is off the coast of San Juan. And it's just this wonderful place.
Yeah. Culebra, you have Culebra, you have Vieques.
Yeah.
You have,
have you been to Vieques?
San Juan. What's that?
Have you been to Vieques?
I've been to Culebra. I went over to Culebra. So can I share a quick story?
Yeah, please.
Okay. So when I first started out, working with Miguel there, how direct Miguel is. Are you a climber? And he's got that really rough, gruff voice, Yes, I'm a climber. How long you been, it was really cool working with him. So it's like he and I just like connected and made really good friends, And so I've been going back like 2 or 3 times a year ever since. I've been over there about 12 times now.
Oh, wow.
And so his brother, I don't know if you know this, his brother is a very well-known physician in Puerto Rico. And his brother has this 45-foot catamaran, Laguna catamaran. It has 3 bedrooms in it. a huge galley. And so every time we get done work, Miguel and I will go out on his brother's catamaran, and we sail out
That's
to
great.
Culebra and just chill out for a few days out on the Caribbean, and just like, it's like, Miguel, you don't have to pay me anything anymore. I just
Yeah,
want to come
no.
over here and work with you and take care of Puerto Rico. The Puerto Rican people, I mean, just beautiful, beautiful, welcoming people, and it's just like, I just, this is what I want to do. I just want to help you in any way that I can. Any of the people of Puerto Rico, I want to help them any way that I can. And I will come over anytime you need me, and I will help out the people of Puerto Rico.
That's great. It's a really special place. And yeah, we worked with Miguel. We organized a trip, like a service trip, and we brought a bunch of arborists down there and did a couple of days of service in the San Juan area, led by Miguel, and it was really a special time. But it's very cool that you guys have that ongoing connection, and that you've made it down there so many times. You'll have to check out Vieques. There's a bunch of wild horses there. There's like 10,000 people and like 3,000 wild horses on the island. So it's
Man, yeah.
very much like a weird ecological place. There's no chain businesses at all. So it's like stuck in the 50s, and a third of the island is a old naval bombing range. So
That's
there's
right.
like bombs
That's right.
buried in the jungle and stuff. It's really cool.
That's
That's
right.
right. Yeah.
So,
It's really
Mike,
cool.
one of the
Mike,
other things you said was that you've been involved with canopy research projects in Costa
Yeah.
Rica and
Yeah.
giant sequoias. How did that happen? What does that mean? How did that happen?
Well, it happened because I ran into, or I made an acquaintance with a gentleman during the wildfires out in California, and he worked for a researcher, a tree research program in, I want to say it was out in Portland, Oregon. And so they were needing. There was a group
who
of
is
people.
this? Can you tell us who is this person?
It's yeah, Tyler Zuniga. You know Tyler?
I don't know Tyler. No,
Tyler Zuniga.
I want to.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. So and Nick, your name came up for the canopy research out in the giant sequoias. So your name came up a few times out there. So it's like, yeah, we need to get Nick Bonner out here to do this,
Huh.
So, but it's a huge well, the one in Costa Rica was totally separate from the one in California. But the one in Costa Rica, we were climbing these strangler figs. The strangler figs are like a lattice. So do you know the history of a strangler fig? Where a bird will fly in on a tree, and it eats a strangler fig pod, and then it does its duty in the tree. Well, eventually that seed pod germinates, and it actually sends out roots around the whole entire tree, and then it literally strangles the main tree, and the main tree dies inside of it, and then you have all this beautiful, incredible lattice work around this tree, and it's just like rock climbing. You can literally like rock climb up to the top of the canopies of these trees, and it was just an incredible experience to be involved with. But the research is like, hey, if a drought hits, we have all these apophytes that live on these trees. So what if the drought kills all these apophytes? Will it actually affect the tree as well? And so our job was to climb these trees all the way out to the tips of the trees. We had little scrub brushes in our hand, and we would scrub down every lichen, every piece of I'm trying to think of the duff, any type of duff or lichen that was on the tree. We would literally scrub the whole entire tree down, all the way down to the root flare. And so we got everything off the trees. Then we went up into the tops of the trees, and we set monitors up them. We set weather monitors up them. We set sat flow monitors up into the trees. And then total, we had 20 trees total that we did this to. We had 10 trees that we scrubbed all the way down to the root flares. And then we had 10 trees that were our trees that we didn't do anything to. However, we still set those same monitors up into the trees. And then we set the relay boxes up into them as well, where they could determine actually what was going on with the sap flow and how much moisture was being evaporated from the trees, and it was just, yeah, that was really an incredible project to be involved with.
That's so cool.
It was very cool. Yeah, if you
Hey,
ever
Nick,
get a chance to climb a strangler fig, I highly recommend it. It's crazy. It's like no tree you've ever climbed.
hey Nick,
I actually have a bunch of.
I'm quitting and I'm going to do that. Just
I
saying.
have a ton of pictures of these trees. I didn't know what you told me about the strangler. Like I knew what they were, but I didn't know everything you just said. But my wife and I went to Costa Rica for our honeymoon
Oh yeah.
a long time ago when I was just starting as an arborist, actually, and I was fascinated with these. And I have a bunch of really poor, like quality flash on camera photos of me standing in front of like these massive buttressed roots of the fig and strangler figs. And
Yeah.
I always thought it was really crazy how hollow they sounded, right? It was like tapping a flake of wood or like a flake of rock almost. Sometimes like it would be like these long ridges of wood and you would tap it and it was, you could tell it was like totally hollow on the inside.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
Really impressive trees.
Yeah.
They have another tree in Costa Rica called the living fence. Do you know what that is?
Is it a ficus? Is it one of the ficus?
They call it the living fence.
Huh.
Yeah, there it is. And they say that if you have fence posts, you're too rich for your own good.
Oh yeah.
Because you can literally just take this plant and cut it at like waist level and just stick it in the ground, and it forms a fence post that's as strong as anything else, and you don't have to like dig as deep a hole because it roots itself in the ground. And apparently, this Costa Rican tree, they just string barbed wire from it to create all of their cattle fencing and stuff. Really interesting.
Wow, very cool.
Mike, I've got a question from George Ashington here. Did you get to know anything about the findings from the science that you did with the strangling figs?
Yeah, did scrubbing them hurt them?
It's I mean it's still in process. They're still processing the data, but there is data out there, Cal. If I can find some, but from what I've seen so far, there is a difference by eliminating all the apophytes in the trees. They are noticing a difference from the actual trees that we didn't do anything to. They're seeing that like sap flow is not as I don't want to speak into the research that I don't really know too much on, but I can get that for you if he's interested. I could probably get him the website to go to.
I mean, that'd be awesome. That's really cool. I think it's also an interesting part of the arboriculture industry that we don't think about is that there are people who need these skills of like how to climb trees well and without damaging the trees and things like that. There's always people who are doing science on trees and on shrubs and stuff like that, and that's really cool. That's I'm really jealous of that. That sounds like a lot of fun. That sounds like a great project.
Yeah.
But the giant sequoia by far has been my favorite. That was just incredibly amazing. Ever since I started climbing in the 80s, I always wanted to climb a giant sequoia, and it finally came true. So.
Of course.
Have you also climbed the redwoods, Mike?
I haven't climbed any coast redwoods, Nick. I actually been invited to, because they're doing research on the coast redwoods too. I've been invited to do do the canopy research on those as well. So when that
I found the sequoias to be much more enchanting. The redwoods are impressive trees, but you can drive. I mean, they're really impressive trees, right? But you can drive down, the Avenue of Champions or whatever it's called, Avenue of the Giants, and like you can literally just see a forest of them. And there's a lot of them, and they're all really big. And the really big ones are bigger, and they're a lot bigger, but like whatever. Yeah, the sequoias are so much farther, and there's so much fewer and farther between, right? Like
that's right.
There's all these coast redwoods that are small, and then just a sequoia that's 35 feet across. Like, I mean, like they're just they look cartoonish. And like the color of them, as you see on the screen here, is like,
when I'm there, when you're at the base of one of these, I can't even talk because I'm in such awe. It's like, how in the world is this even possible to have a tree this massive in front of me? Some of them, I mean, just some of them can be in excess of 30 foot in diameter at the base, at that flare. And you're standing at the base of that flare. It's just like you kind of find out who you are in this universe. You're just really not much compared to something.
My friend Brian Bixler and I went and we hiked into some sequoia trees that were right off the road in Kings Canyon Park in a place called the Lost Grove. Okay. And there's this sequoia twin there. And, you know, it's like a twin, right? In that, like, they come to the ground, like they touch, you know, their roots buttress against each other at the ground. Yeah. This is like, so like, yeah, this is how close you are to the road. So we hiked up this hill here, right? Maybe 200 yards up, and found this twin. We string up some hammocks in between it, and we slept there overnight at ground level.
Awesome.
And the next morning, it was awesome, right? The next morning, we get ropes up in this tree and we spend all day climbing it. And as we're climbing it, you know, we're like, you know, there's one tree here and one tree here, and, you know, all these branches obviously in between the trees. And we get to the top, and it dawns on me that I have seen like maybe 1 million pounds of deadwood hanging over where I was just sleeping. I mean, I'm talking about dead branches, you know, bigger than my body, right?
Like, I know. Yeah.
And I'm like, why did I sleep here? Why did I, like, anything could have killed me. You know what I mean? Like a whole tree could have fallen on me. Look at this.
Hey, Cale, look up the grizzly giant. You know, everybody is always impressed with the General Sherman, you know, and although the General Sherman is impressive, man, if you ever get to the grizzly giant, that thing is just, it's wicked. It's a wicked looking tree. And, you know, it's just enormous. So these are all in the Mariposa Valley. If anyone wants to go out there, go to the Mariposa Valley. The now the General Sherman isn't out there. The General Sherman is up in the Sequoia National Forest. Now these are in Mariposa Valley down in Yosemite, and it's just a beautiful grove of giant sequoias and
ash. Which is kind of cool. There's a bunch of like burned out, like forest fire destruction there, and then these sequoias, which you know, so like we're getting off track, but I love this. When we discovered sequoia trees, the U.S. National Forest Service and National Parks Service decided that it was their job to save them. So we stopped forest fires. Like that became the initiative, was to end forest fires to save these trees. But in reality, the forest fires are what caused the trees to reproduce. And we essentially stopped the reproduction of these incredible trees in the United States, which was just a wild, like, who knew, right? That we were actually creating a problem that would hurt the trees by trying to save them.
Which is something you can only know by having people like Mike and the people that he's worked with doing science on things of, you know, actually investigating it.
Seeing these trees and like the General Sherman, the General Sherman is and like this tree are impressive because you're able to see the entire tree from a single position. You can like stand back and like bring it all in, whereas very few of the redwoods you ever get to see in that sense, because they're all like surrounded by other really tall trees.
That's right.
You never really get to appreciate the redwood until you're like at the very top. I woke up in the Reynolds Triple, which is in Sonoma, and my feet were all wet. Like by the end of my sleeping bag was wet.
If you want to talk about that.
And I'm trying to figure out, because like I think there's like a science explanation for everything, right? And my feet are sticking off the portal edge and they're all wet. And I look at my buddy Bixler and I'm like, Brian, I'm like, my feet are all wet. I think it has something to do with the condensation, right? Like because my feet were outside of the portal edge, that's why they're wet. And he looks at me and he's like, yeah, that's why they're wet. And I'm like, wait, you said that kind of funny. And I was like, you pissed on my feet, didn't you? And he's like, yeah, I might have peed on you last night. So yeah, if you're sleeping in one of these trees with a friend, keep your feet on the portal edge so he doesn't pee on you.
Especially if it's
that's a
Bixler.
good one. Yeah.
Thank you
Yeah,
very much,
fun
Mike,
trees.
for joining us. We've gone a little bit longer than we said we would keep you. If you want to stick around, that's of course perfectly fine. We would love it. Michael Oxman is talking about a class that you had in Tacoma, Washington, that he videotaped for about 4 hours of your presentation. I assume that's probably on his Facebook page or his YouTube page. If you want to go look for that. Do you have anything that you want to plug or you want to talk about? Any websites, contact information, anything like that?
I was thinking of before I've gone. Just our military personnel right now. We're kind of seeing things not so good in the world, and just keeping our military personnel in your thoughts right now. And our industry is made up of a lot of military personnel. It's a lot of hard work, a lot of dedication, and a lot of perseverance, and that's why they make our industry such a beautiful industry to work in.
Yeah.
One thing I hope people across America can agree on is that we want our American military personnel and civilians to remain safe. That's for sure. Yeah, no harm to come. No harm to come. So I appreciate that very positive message, Mike. Like Cale said, you're welcome to stick around. We actually can't kick you out of the show because we don't have the technological power, but we do want to keep going with our agenda, and Cale is going to let us know what's next.
Thank you, guys. Thanks, you. It was
Mike.
a pleasure.
Thank you, Mike.
Cheers, buddy.
Have a good one.
All right. You too.
Next thing to talk about is something called Arborfest.
Arborfest. I'm jazzed for Arborfest. Arborfest is run by my good friends Hans and Jordan, who own Noble Oak Training and Safety and New Jersey Crane Expert. And it's in Asheville, North Carolina, April 9th through 11th. It's really affordable. It isn't free, but it's cheap. I don't know how much it costs. You should definitely come and check it out. It's a couple of days of training, parties, classes, trade show booths, vendor exhibitions. The claw game is there. I'll be there. Robert Albritton will be there. Everybody that you want to see will be there, except for Cale.
Yep.
And we're going to cover why Cale won't be there when we talk about how we're going to be moving our show to Mondays soon. But that's okay.
It's all right. Don't worry about
we forgive you, Cale. We forgive you for ruining all the beautiful things like our Wednesday show and turning it into a Monday show. But no, come and check out Arborfest. You can learn about Arborfest at arborfest.com. Is that right, Cale? Is that the right URL?
Yes, arborfestexpo.com.
arborfestexpo.com. Sorry about that.
And she's got an event schedule up here. Everything Johnny Corthuis, Mark Chisholm, Joseph Rainwater, all these people who
all the best trainers, basically.
Yeah, just the best trainers. A free coffee break sponsored by Arborjet in here. Ninja climb competition. She
says she's gonna build the ninja ladder, and I was like, we'll see about that.
Well, I mean, she has a sponsor for that, so we'll see what happens there. But
good for her. We're going to be doing our footlocking comp at the party on Friday night, where we give away $3,000 of Samson Ropes money, so that's always fun. And there will also be the claw game running all 3 days at the trade show. And I do want to thank Asheville Arborists for providing the crane for us once again, Mr. Nick Maidment. Always coming through,
great friends,
supporting us. Yeah, Billy Barber.
They made a custom spreader bar for the footlocking competition with like glow in the dark stuff on it and everything, and very cool.
We're going to be selling spreader bars soon. Did you know that? Like real steel ones?
I did
For
not know
Matt.
that.
Yeah, for Matt.
That's new. The other thing, so there's something out that you may have heard about, Nick. I'm not
The
sure.
hookups.
The notch hookup. So
I'm so jazzed for these.
Bluetooth intercom systems, we keep saying it, are probably one of the biggest game changers in the arborist industry for decades, since maybe the invention of saddles. Essentially, you can talk to the people that you need to talk with without having to yell, and just it just makes everything easier if you can just talk to somebody in a normal voice. These
Why are
are
you chroma keying me, Cale?
I don't know. I didn't think I had the chroma key on you. Let me see if I can get that off here. Where are you? But so
Chroma key is a technical term that's used for green screening, and it's why you can't see this helmet. Just so you know, it's
Nick,
actually
vamp
not
for me while I see if I can figure out how to get this.
This is a really cool color. Adelred, if you're checking this out, if you could make this fake chroma keyed camo, that'd be sweet. I've got this new Edelred Tectum helmet right here. This thing's pretty sweet. I'm actually really digging these. I really like the visor accessory and the foam internals. But looking at the back here, you see that we've got a Sena unit. This is a Sena Work 4 or a 10 series. And this is your standard bracket mounted Sena. I always have preferred these bracket mounted units because the brain and the battery system is separate from the hygiene components of the earmuffs. The downside to these types of installs has always been that the earmuff had to have some surgery done to it, in that people would or installers would cut a hole in the side of the earmuff for the wire to go through. That also meant that the wire had to travel, Cale, from the brain to the earmuff, and it had to allow for this orbit to be serviceable. You can see that the hookup has the wire going directly into the rotating and articulating armature, and that wire is length extendable in the armature here. So you can see I just made that shorter and longer. You can see it popping out here. And it means that you only need this much exposed wire to this whole orbit. That's a huge improvement from the way it used to be, without even considering the fact that this whole system is now noise reduction rated without any compromises. I'm really digging this. These pop on or off to any helmet that has a 3M Peltor style or sized adjuster. They do not work with Protos. You can still get Senas with Protos, but they are through the old, kind of handicraft install where it's cut into the earmuff.
Yeah.
I like the way these look. They come in a simple black color. They offer a high level of noise reduction rating, and they just work with Sena. You literally just plug it into the Sena like this with this little plug, and you are off to the races. So,
Mike, thoughts?
Do you use the Sena, Mike?
Not the Sena. I use the Protos.
But you don't have a Sena system on the back of it.
On the
like Bluetooth intercom on the back of your Protos. Yeah. What is the change that you've seen between Bluetooth before and after getting that Bluetooth intercom?
Oh, are you talking to me, Cal?
Yeah.
Oh man, I'm sorry. I didn't know I was even on. I thought I was just sitting here watching.
Oh, okay.
You're back.
That's fine. I pulled you back in. I saw you were here.
I'm sorry. I'm just sitting here like lollygagging around, But I mean, as far as I have used intercom systems, it's just a world of difference where you're not yelling down at the people on the ground and, they're not trying to figure out what you're doing up in the tree. And it's just like, and how they can cancel chainsaw noise too. Anything that's over, I think, a certain noise level that it'll cancel that out. And it's just like, I mean, it's definitely necessary, needed piece of gear, when you're doing tree work.
How should we give away a couple hookups? Anybody have any ideas? Nick? Nick's spaced out looking at some earmuffs right
I
now.
think that uh, we should give away some hookups to some people that can drop into the chat explanations of how Senna has been an improvement for them.
Okay.
Tell us how you use Senna, and what we'll do is we'll send some hookups out to you, and you can just knock those right in and improve the noise reduction rating of your system and the wire setup. Right? It's an automatic, I think, function improvement and an automatic quality of life improvement.
Yep. So here's what we'll do. We'll move on to some new stuff, or top and drop, I guess, and then when everybody catches up, then we can choose some people to give it away to. Top and drop. We're gonna get into that real quick here. So if you go to the homepage, and you
Top and
go,
Drop is a fun kind of sales experience, and it's like Steep and Sheep used to be, where at any given time there's just one item. It's on sale for a price that we probably can't market or advertise, so you have to put the item into your cart and use a code to see what it is. But it's definitely not an advertised discount, that's for sure.
yes, we have definitely not advertised that this item is up for a
For sale
huge
for
discount.
anything less than
This is definitely
$106.99.
not discounted right now if you put top and drop into your cart. You can get there by going to the homepage, and then there's weekly deal and more under the categories, and also our little new randomized homepage here sometimes will show up with a top and drop thing. But yeah, go to weekly deal and more. Every week there will be a different item that's extra discounted there. I've got Lieutenant Corporal Loreg on YouTube. Go ahead and send an email to live@treestuff.com. We'll get you a hookups set up. Let's see, Mike. You don't? You're a Protos guy. You don't need some hookups, do you?
I'm a Protos guy. But I do like that the one milk. It's all it's all encapsulated just in that one thing. So that's pretty nice too. Yeah, I've used that.
They have a nice standalone system as well.
Standalone.
Before we jump into new gear, we have been running our show every Wednesday because Cale and I picked Wednesday out of a hat, and that was the first day that came out of the hat. Cale is actually a member of the United States Armed Forces through the Air National Guard in Indiana, and has been for quite some time, dedicating his time and service to the Air National Guard. Thank you very much, Cale.
I think about 16 years now.
16 years. It's been a pleasure having an Air National Guard member on the team for all this time. But as part of that, every now and then he gets super deployed, and the government sends me a letter that says, "Suck it, Nick."
Yep.
Cale's leaving for 3 months, and there's nothing you can do about it. So while Cale's deployed, we're actually going to be moving the show to Mondays, because in addition to serving our country, he's still going to be serving all of you, our arborist customers, by facilitating our show and doing a lot of work for us in his spare time. So round of applause for you, Cale. Thank you so much. But we will be transitioning to a Monday show day. We'll keep the same noon time, but starting in April and for the foreseeable future, we will be on Mondays. Whether or not we'll keep Mondays after Cale comes back from deployment, I'm not so certain.
Yeah, we'll see. We will have the podcast up each week. Hopefully the day of or the day after that we have the live broadcast. So
there'll be a new podcast every week. You can count on that.
Yes. Jared Smiley, Cena is amazing for utility line clearance since we tend to work in high traffic areas. Jared, go ahead and send me an email live@treestuff.com, and I'll get you some Cena hookups that you can try out.
We're going
So
to give some hookups away for the next couple weeks on the show as we continue to talk about those. But there are some other new items that we had on our list to talk about today, Cale. Can we look at what those are? And then I'm itching to give away some money.
money, new stuff.
We have a great sale right now. I don't know if you're into that stuff. I do try to not talk about sales too much, but there's a killer sale that you can check out on the homepage. You can get
bunch
like
of
$500
speedline gear.
free speedline gear, porter wrap, slings, rope bag. It's kind of nice. Check it out if you want to.
You wanted to talk about
the Tectum, which I did.
The Tectum.
Yeah, that's a sweet helmet from Edelrid. I've got the vented version right here. I really like the foam construction in here. This is very nice. Nice ratcheting system on the back here. Basically everything you would come to expect. I like that you don't need adapters for the earmuffs. But just in general, it seems like a nice helmet. You know, I think people don't want like the cheapest helmet that they can find. And this feels really well made. You know, it has the NFC tracking technology. It obviously works with the Senna. Just a really nice helmet if you're looking for this style of foam suspended climbing helmet. Ton of really nice accessories. You can see these are well attached here. There's no gaps or air. And it also gets up nice and high. So you can see here that as your line of sight isn't going to be so obstructed from this. Not the fanner visor, but comes in at, you know, $240 less dollars. So
yeah,
really nice helmet option here from Edelrid. This is the Edelrid Tectum.
140, not 240.
Well,
with
yeah,
sorry, without the visor.
What?
Yeah, add the visor and it's a little bit more. But yes, this is,
it does go in a little bit more.
And personally, we've been to Edelrid's location in Germany. We've met all of the engineers and everyone there. They're awesome. Trust them with our lives. Yeah, if you have the chance to go to what was that little town called that they were in? Do you remember what it was? Isny im Albrock or something like that. Gorgeous place. Yeah.
And the Edelrid team never tried to kill me by taking me free soloing. When I went rock climbing with them, they insisted that I put ropes on. You know who I'm talking to, Jesse.
Panting Click, obviously, that is the thing
that is sweet.
That Nick has been talking about forever. Have you heard about that, Mike?
Oh yeah, the Click.
Mm-hmm. Do you have one?
Yeah, that's nice. I definitely like that idea. Yeah, the concept there. Yes.
Do you have?
We'll send one of those to you, Mike, for sure. Thanks for coming on the show.
Yeah, let me know if you need a right or a left, and I'm interested to see what your review of this is, and we'll get that in. Obviously, very new. We don't have any reviews in here yet. We're looking for that still, but you know, Nick has been more excited about this than any other product that he hasn't been part of developing.
I've seen a lot of comments from like people that are like, I've been snowboarding, or like, you know, like, did you know BOA exists? And it's like, yeah, no kidding, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't think anybody was. I certainly was not trying to tell anybody that like the ratchet system is an invention, right? This to me is one of those things where like, duh,
yeah,
everybody that's ever looked at the foot ascender thought,
now it's
why not just put a ski boot binding on that, right? And you know, nobody did it, right? Like everybody thought that you should make some artificial source of light. Thomas Edison built a light bulb. You know, these guys, I think like they took something that seemed really obvious that no one had done and they executed it wonderfully. And this is such an improvement for foot ascenders because every other foot ascender ever just yanks around on your foot. And you end up trading so much of your energy for friction, right? Because your boot pushes down and then the friction drags that foot ascender sideways on your foot. That's energy that should be taking you up. And then it gets dragged backwards when you lift your foot back up. That's energy that should be, you know, not being used at all, right? It shouldn't be there as friction. So I'm jazzed for this. I think, you know, fast forward 5 or 10 years, this will be the norm. All foot ascenders will be like this for sure.
Frojo says, if you're in your late 30s and you've never used a ratchet belt to hold your pants up, you're missing out. Yeah, it's kind of like that. I guess.
A ratcheting belt? Like for my waistline, dude? We may have a different what do they call that? Body configurations.
Body type. Possibly. You do look like a stick. So the last thing that we have today, if this is your first time watching or listening, we give away 3 $100 gift certificates to treestuff.com each week to people who can figure out what our treestuff.com/win puzzle is. So hold on, don't start giving hints on that.
Oh, that's a terrible
Don't
one.
start giving hints on that yet. That's not a terrible
that
one.
Was
hold on.
Terrible.
No,
Why did you pick such an easy?
That's not an easy. Hold on, we're not there yet.
Awful.
You gave it away to everybody last week because you thought you were looking at the previous weeks. But so this was the previous weeks. You go to treestuff.com/win and you see.
That was obvious.
You see if you can figure out what the image is that we put in here. And Nick just told everybody it's the Director Swivel Eye Lock Safe. So we have 9. Yeah, it's upside down. Guess. And then I've switched colors around, kind of did some squishing with it and things like that. So we had 9 people who got that right, and 3 people are going to get $100 off. That is one. That's Connor Grigia, 8, Adam Jones, and Jacob Balk are going to get that for last week. So I will send y'all an email. And then this week's is this.
This is terrible. Next time we're going to do this same type, okay? But it's not going to be the item that is missing.
I didn't want to make it too hard.
Full of, no, it's so
well. They've got to find that first of all. They've got to find it, and then they've got to find the right spot. We'll see. We'll see what happens. But so treestuff.com/win. If you can find this item, well, first of all, they have to figure out what item it is, and then find the product page for it, and put that URL in here into our form, and then they can be entered to win. Mike, do you have any idea what it is?
No, I don't. No.
Exactly. There you go.
I
Nick.
know exactly. I can tell you exactly what it is just by the shape of the thing.
Yeah. All right,
the blocks that are sitting there, is that what you're talking about? The blocks?
But just based on the shape of the white box that he's blurred
this
out.
Little area right here. That's, you got to figure out what he is holding in that.
The key is in that little bit that's flaking off the bottom there.
A couple little things here. Justin MPG on YouTube, how much do the new communication devices cost? So
it is cheaper to get any helmet that we sell with a Sena unit with a Sena unit and a set of hookups is cheaper than a Sena unit installed on that same helmet from any of our competitors. It is absolutely the best price on the best product available in the market today. So you get a better version of the Sena, better wire routing, better noise reduction, better brains, because you're not using the tough talks, right? You don't have the degradation and noise reduction. You get the wire routing and it's cheaper. It's a deal that can't be beat. You should really check it out. Show them how they can buy it.
2 different ways to buy it. So, like we said, Protos has their own.
I already have a Sena unit and I just want a set of hookups. How do I buy that?
You already have your Sena unit and you want just the Sena hookups. You go to the Notch hookups page and you just buy some hookups. And then we have.
Let's say I have a helmet and I want a set of hookups and a Sena.
Easy. So you have a helmet, you want Sena hookups and a helmet, you go to the Sena or the Notch hookups Sena page and you can buy either one of the 2. I guess that's not showing up on OBS here. But yeah, so in the type here, you can choose a kit with either of the Bluetooth systems with the hookups. If you want a new helmet, hookups, and a center unit, you can go to helmet and comms. And any of these on this page, any of these helmets will have a little drop down here where you can choose what kind of hookups and Cena unit you want with it. If you don't
The
know
screening share is not showing that drop down.
yeah,
Gale,
we'll have to talk to Zane Ray about that. If you don't know what kind of Cena system you want, we have a little article in Shop Talk.
You want the 10 series
that talks about that. Yeah, most likely you want the
Work
10S
4
series.
is the better choice, in my opinion, if anybody cares about that.
Yeah. It's the simplest, the most robust, and you don't need 45 people all talking at the same time.
All right, so show us what's the slash win for this week then, Cale?
So slash win for
yeah,
this
you
week.
just showed us. It's that video. You're right. I'm sorry.
Yes,
my brain's all over the place.
Is that there? So, yep, you have until the next time that we do a live broadcast to guess what this product is in order to enter to win. Mike, thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
I made a new friend today.
Yeah, yes, thank you. So many great stories. Mike, if anyone wants to get a hold of you, how would they do that?
My email address is thattreeguy1@.com.
Easy.
So just THATTREEGUI numerical 1@yahoo.com.
Great.
Yahoo.com. I love it. Mike,
Perfect.
thanks so much. Cale, great job, buddy. We will be back here next Wednesday with another great show and another great guest. See
Thank
you
you,
then.
guys.
Have a good one.
Bye.
Bye-bye.